What is up, guys? This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you a build breakdown video of Scarlet Witch, and this is just for her overall build that I use for her. The last video I made was for Cosmic Trials, so if you're looking for a Cosmic Trials build, go ahead and go on that one, and once you end up completing Cosmic Trials eventually, you can come back to this one and look at the build. And if you don't feel like doing Cosmic Trials, or you just don't, or if you've already completed it and you just want to check out a different build, then go ahead and check this one out. So let's go ahead and get started. With her traits, she's got energy and intelligence as her two main attributes, 3% crit chance as her main offensive stat. Chaos energy is her primary resource. Chaos energy generates when you deal chaos damage. When chaos damage has been filled, trigger chaos energy. Powers can spend, or chaos overload effects. Powers can spend chaos energy to change probability of random effects, ensuring the maximum possible damage outcome. Chaos energy will not be generated. Reality bending, health on hit, you gain 280 defense multiplier and deflect rating multiplier, or 20%. Defense rating and deflect rating are 600. So those are all three of her traits. For her main or primary ability, you can either choose one of the two abilities. You can go with Chaotic Hex or Bouncing Hex. I went with Chaotic Hex with this build because it's a great single target ability, because you can hit the boss 1 to 5 times with this. With Bouncing Hex, you can't hit the boss multiple times unless there's multiple enemies, or not even with multiple enemies. I think you can hit multiple enemies, like the same enemy, more than once. I don't think, no, it says 6 maximum enemies hit. So hit from enemy to enemy. Yeah, no, it doesn't hit the same enemy twice. So this one is the better option if you're going to be doing single targeted boss kills and stuff. This is still a great ability to have for like when there's a bunch of ads and whatnot. But yeah, Beast from Beyond, I put that on square. Unmake Reality, I put that on L2X. Chaos Rift, I put that on circle. Chaos Shift, I put that on L2 circle. Iron Maiden, I put that on L2 square. Reality Implosion, I put that on L2 triangle. Ravenous Binding, I put that on L2 triangle. You can either choose Iron Maiden or Obfuscation, I guess, if you want to play a little bit more support, like in your operations and shoot patrols. Either that, or you can go with Hexsphere. Well, you can honestly go with any other abilities that you'd like. You can even go with Chaos Warp, but I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I just wouldn't necessarily worry about Chaos Warp. But yeah, so let's go over the abilities. With Ravenous Binding, you gain healing over time, and it also immobilizes your enemies to be put in one spot for 3 seconds, and after that they have a slow duration for 50% attack speed and movement speed. Reality Implosion does a nice explosive burst damage. It also pulls your enemies in the circle as well, so that's really nice. Iron Maiden, whenever an enemy does attacks, so not just towards you but towards anyone, they take damage back, 20,792 to 31,188 damage, and the duration is 8 seconds, cooldown is 4 seconds. Chaos Rift, chaos damage 6338 twice per second, and with the chaos energy, chaos effect, 100% chance to instantly destroy minor enemies when cast. So this is perfect for mob clearing, because it takes out enemies ranging from those itty bitty red bars to the blue and yellow barred enemies. It doesn't work on bosses though, so don't expect to one-shot a boss because of this, but you can one-shot the mechs, you can one-shot sentinels, and etc, etc, anything that is not a boss. Unmake Reality, exact same thing as Chaos Rift's Chaos Effect. With Unmake Reality, it's your signature. This ability stuns bosses. It instantly destroys non-boss enemies as well. 15,913 damage twice per second, and the duration is 3 seconds, so it'll do about 30,000 damage per second against the boss, so you're looking at 90,000 damage in total. You also gain 100% chaos energy as well, so if you don't have a full bar of chaos energy, then you would use this to fill that bar all the way up. And yeah, so next with Chaotic Hex, I'm pretty sure I just explained this. You can do 1 to 5 hits with Chaotic Hex. While Chaos Effect is active, you do 5 bolts. You just continuously hit 5 bolts until your Chaos Energies runs out. Beast from Beyond, with what Beast from Beyond does is it hits 2 targets at a time. It hits any target, so it's not stuck to just 2 targets. It only hits 2 targets though, but it doesn't have to be the same 2 targets. It hits multiple 2 targets, as long as they're within the vicinity of your AoE. And enemies also take 25% extra chaos damage, so that's really nice, and the duration is 6 seconds. For my talents, I just went straight across on the top. I went with Reality Shred. Chaos Rift has a 5% higher chance to instantly defeat enemies, meaning even without your chaos energy being full, so without the chaos effect, you can still do insta kills with Chaos Rift, and you also gain an extra Chaos Rift max area, so you can pop 2 of those. Beast from Beyond hits an additional target whenever it deals damage, and it also adds 5% vulnerability, so instead of it being 25, I don't know why it didn't add the extra 5 on its the stat sheet for it. It should technically be a 30% vulnerability, but it's whatever. If you don't decide to go with this, the other 2 options are still useful. This one is only useful if you are using Bouncing Hex though, or if you have Chaotic Hex in your loadout, but Bouncing Hex is the one you would be looking at more for this. Bad Luck is good for Iron Maiden because they will take a double damage in general, and then they'll take another 100%, so they'll be taking triple the damage if you have Chaos Effect active for it. And while Iron Maiden is active, you also gain 3% dodge chance and crit chance. Implode Reality is what I went with on this one. Yeah, Implode Reality is the best option because it's the only one that's on your build. Unless you are going with Chaos Warp, then this will also be really useful to have. Implode Reality gains the following effects. Total damage is increased by 200%. Cooldown is 8 seconds, increased to 8 seconds. Chaos Effect minus 25%, so it gains another Chaos Effect. You get a negative 25% chance, or you get a 25% chance to reset its cooldown when activated. Positive Outcome is the best one out of these 3. Ravenous Binding applies rapid healing to all allies. Buff effect, rapid healing, health gain, 20% of max health per second. Ravenous Binding cooldown is 8 seconds. Obfuscation cooldown is 5 seconds. So Power Overwhelming is what I went with, because when you use this, you gain 500 max chaos energy. So instead of 100 or wherever you're at, I don't know what the max is right now, but you gain an additional 500 chaos energy for 10 seconds, and then it goes back to what it was. So this is a really good one to have. Chaos Mastery is a really good one to have as well, if only you have, I would say, if you have a bunch of cosmic gear, because whenever you use Unmake Reality, all of those cosmic talents, instead of it being like a 7% or 40% chance, it'll all be at 100% chance for 5 seconds, making your cosmics being even stronger. I went with Chaos Magic Restoration, but you can go for any of the 3. This Yeah, you can go for any of the three. I just went with this one because I like getting more health back. Um, but yeah, you can go with any of the three that you decide to go for. Synergies, though I'll just name out which one is good and which one isn't so much and which one helps. So Angela's is always good for the cooldown damage. Every character I know that has cooldown damage. Ant-Man's doesn't help at all. Beast intelligence helps, but that's it. Black Panther movement helps, but that's it. Black Widow range helps, and that's it. Blade, both of those helps. Captain America helps. Captain Marvel, I don't think so. Colossus helps. Cyclops helps, but not for the energy power one. Daredevil's helps, but not melee. Deadpool's helps. Yeah, Deadpool's does help when you use explosive, the implosion, the reality implosion, whatever it's called, for that chaos effect. Doctor Strange, you definitely want to have this one. Gambit's definitely helps because the energy attribute. Ghost Riders does not help. Hawkeye helps because the movement speed and crit. Hulk's helps for health. Iceman you don't need. Iron Fist you don't necessarily need. Health regen helps though. Iron Man, the ranged damage helps. Energy doesn't. Jean Grey, Jesus, someone's racing outside. Jean Grey's, the range damage helps. The psychic power damage doesn't so much. Kitty Pryde, that one helps because both of those dodge and deflect are your two main defensive stats. Luke Cage helps because of the durability. Magix helps because of health on hit, but you don't need summon power. Moon Knight it's a high risk, high reward type of deal with his. Nova's helps for the movement speed and dodge. Psylocke does not help. Ranged for Punisher helps, but gun damage doesn't. Rocket Raccoon doesn't because you don't have any summons. Scarlet Witch helps, or definitely you need it for the damage over time because everything she does is damage over time. She-Hulk definitely helps for health and health regen. Spider-Man's helps for the dodge multiplier. Squirrel Girl, I would say need because damage to bosses always helps. Star-Lord, the 10 + 10 chaos energy helps, but you don't need any gun damage. Storm, you don't need. Thor's, you don't necessarily need. The defense definitely helps. Well, not definitely helps, but it does help. War Machine, I would say need. Chaos, adding more resource for any character, and +1 fighting helps for every character as well. Wolverine, you don't need claw damage. My infinity points are at, I have 4 in strike through and 2 into energy. If you don't want to put any points into your attributes, or if you have less than 25 points, then I would recommend putting points into either temporal loophole or restoration, inner resilience, or against all odds. If anything, restoration and inner resilience are the two best options in my opinion. Healing received or health on hit, more health on hit. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at my inventory, my items. I only have 2 cosmics and 3 purples. I have a blue ring and a green medallion. I only have this green medallion because it's the only one that I had that actually benefits or helps out Scarlet Witch. I mean, I do have the Mandarin one and I have Pyros, but I mean, I'd rather be able to get more health back from dealing magic power damage, especially since everything she does is magic based. Best legendary item to have for her is the Warlock's Eye. What else is there? Oh yeah, for the catalyst. The catalyst you want to have the talents that have when you use a med kit you gain 25% regen of health and resource back. And for the purple on the mystical bonus, you want to have the one that gives you what's it called? Whenever you use a med kit, you gain 5,000 health back. And for the cosmic bonus, if you have a cosmic catalyst, the cosmic bonus you want for it is whenever you use a med kit, you gain 50% max health shield. So that would be the best options. That would be the perfect catalyst build in my opinion. For your relics, Relic of Xander or Relic of Gibberim are your two best options. You definitely want to have more chaos energy, but for me, I didn't have enough relics for that one, so I just went with more ranged power. But yeah, for my artifacts, I have Advanced Amulet of Agamotto, Tomb of Oshter, and Cybernetic Implant. With Amulet of Agamotto, it has intelligence, damage rating to power, magic powers. When your health drops below 50%, you negate half of all incoming damage for 10 seconds. Maximum of 6,000 damage taken. Defense rating and attack speed. For Tomb of Oster, you gain 1,000 health and 2,000 magic damage rating while above 90% max health. Cybernetic Implant, you gain chaos damage. When you drop below 15% max chaos energy, you gain 1,500 damage rating to energy powers and 100 critical hit rating. Also on your helmet or headpiece, whatever, a good talent to have, I don't think it's just the headpiece. I think you can also get this on your utility, your cape, utility, whatever. Pretty sure. Is when you use a med kit, you heal 20% more health. If you do get it for your headpiece and cape, it doesn't stack. I've tested it. You still get the same amount of health. So just choose which one has the better overall stats on them, and then use that. For my stats, I have 2 durability, 2 strength, 3 fighting, 3 speed, 8 energy, 4 intelligence, 36,905 average health, 36% damage reduction. Not good at all. I mean, it's not that it's not good. Those are actually pretty decent stats. What's not good are my offensive stats. I have 11% attack speed, 1092 crit hit, and 2179 crit damage. 2 really low stats. My brutal strike is at 1036 and 1280. All 4 of those stats are just laughable. And then 48% base damage. So if you're in full purple gear, you can definitely have higher stats than these. Even though I have 2 cosmic items, that doesn't matter. What you want to do is you want to spec into having at least 16 to 1800 crit hit rating and brutal strike rating. If you're at least in purple gear. If you're in cosmic gear, full cosmic, you want to go for at least 2000 and both crit hit, 1800 to 2000 or higher crit hit rating or in brutal strike rating. If you're in full purple gear for the crit damage and brutal damage, you want to go for 2500 to 3000 in those. If you're in full cosmics, you want to go for 3000 plus. And for your base damage, I want to say 60% at the minimum is where you'd want to be. I mean, if you can't get it up, then you can't get it up, but you know, your base damage increases whenever you increase your 2 main attributes. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at how these abilities work. So I'm going to use what is it called? Chaos Rift. So I'm going to use Chaos Rift. I'm just going to say by how I have them labeled. So square, triangle, circle, X, L2 square, triangle, circle, X. So with L2 circle, as you see, that was a chaos effect. It made them they all got one-shotted right there. So that was a nice thing about that. With triangle, the binding ability, it binds all the enemies, making them immobilized in that spot for 3 seconds, and you also get healed for, I believe it was 8 seconds, or yeah, I think it's 8 seconds. Beast from Beyond is nice. As you can see, as it's doing damage to all these enemies. The next one we're going to do is the Reality Implosion. Does a nice burst damage, and that was a chaos effect as well. It hit multiple enemies with explosive. But what it also does is it pulls the enemies together. It can't do that with the test dummies, unfortunately. But yeah. And then you have Iron Maiden. So what Iron Maiden does, as you can see, they all have these marks on them. Whenever they have the marks, not that mark, but the fist. Oh, never mind. Guess it's not there. So I guess it is just that mark. Um, Whenever they have that mark on them, that means they're marked with Iron Maiden. And whenever they do any attacking, they take damage as well, depending on how fast their attacks are. So it's not damage per second. It's just whenever they do damage, they take damage. My signature is, well, your signature is going to be the Unmake Reality. One shots all your enemies within its vicinity. It's a pretty big AoE. I think it's as big as this whole arena in here. So yeah. And it also, as you can see, it gave me a full chaos energy back. So yeah. Oh, and I guess for my primary ability, it hits multiple enemies, but with single target, let's see, all 5 goes straight to the single target. So yeah, that's basically my build for Scarlet Witch, for just an overall general build. And yeah, if this build helps you out, go ahead and leave a like, comment, or message me about it. If you have any tips on Scarlet Witch that you think that can help me out with it, because my main is not Scarlet Witch. I had just recently got more into using her. I mean, I have prestiged her twice, but that's because I just got her to 60 and did her all over again because she was just easy to level up for me. But yeah. Oh yeah, another thing is, before you start using this build, before you start saying, oh, this is not a great build, blah blah blah, or you don't know how to use it, I would recommend you testing it out in operations and patrols and whatnot. Don't use this build in trials because you can't one-shot enemies in trials. They just come right back alive. So if you're looking for a trials build, then I would go to the Cosmic Trials build video. I don't know if I've already said that in the beginning of this video, but if I haven't, I'm saying it now. But yeah, this is All Day Any Day 1, and have a good night, good day, good morning, and peace.